Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I talk about mental health because my mind matters and I talk about it. And I know I said I wasn't gonna do as many mental health videos, at least not back to back, but I really feel like this topic was important. And that is explaining borderline personality disorder. Whenever I tell people I have borderline personality disorder, they automatically assume that I have different personalities. But that's not the case. That's actually multiple personality disorder, which is completely different. So no, I do not have blackouts. I do not have voices in my head aside from my own anxiety. And I do not dissociate and flip a switch and turn into a completely new person. So those are all the things that BPD is not. Let's jump into what BPD is. So the overview for borderline personality disorder says, a mental disorder characterized by unstable moods, behavior, and relationships. The cause of borderline personality disorder isn't well understood. Diagnosis is made based on symptoms. Symptoms include emotional instability, feelings of worthlessness, insecurity, impulsivity, and impaired social relationships. So one thing about borderline personality disorder, as you can tell, it has a lot of the same symptoms as depression. So it can actually be misdiagnosed a lot because it looks so similar to depression.
You're a cute doggy. Okay. You're a cute doggy.
Oh. Hello. Do I annoy you?
Do I disturb you?
One prominent feature about borderline personality disorder that separates it from depression is the fear of abandonment and also the whole favorite person concept. And a favorite person basically just means that you have an unhealthy attachment to someone. And whenever things get really bad in that relationship, your mental health goes downhill. It gets really bad from there. For instance, that's the whole reason why I tried to kill myself, was because my favorite person abandoned me. I couldn't live with that pain, so I wanted to stop it. And that was the only way that I could stop it. One thing that I need people to understand is when you tell someone to just get over them, they literally cannot. They cannot. It is programmed in their brain that they cannot live without this person. This person is all they think about. This person is the person that their life is centered on. Don't just look at a person and tell them to get over it, to forgive them and go find somebody else, because you do not understand the torture that they have to go through whenever they have to make that decision. It literally feels like your soul is being ripped apart when you have to let go of your favorite person. This is the list of symptoms: antisocial behavior, compulsive behavior, hostility, impulsivity, irritability, risk-taking behaviors, self-destructive behavior, self-harm, social isolation, or a lack of resentment. Lack of restraint. Anger, anxiety, general discontent, guilt, loneliness, mood swings, or sadness. Depression, distorted self-image, grandiosity, or narcissism. Also common thoughts of suicide. So not every person with borderline personality disorder is going to have every single one of these symptoms. Like, for instance, these are my symptoms. These are the only things that I experience, the only things that I can relate to. Antisocial behavior, impulsivity, irritability, self-harm, social isolation, anxiety, general discontent, loneliness, sadness, depression, and a distorted self-image. And then, of course, I have thoughts of suicide. So, as you can see, all the things that I do not have is a compulsive behavior, hostility, risk-taking behaviors, self-destructive behavior. Well, I mean, does it kind of like suicide? I don't understand. And lack of restraint. I do not have anger, guilt, mood swings. I do not have grandiosity. I don't even know what that is, honestly. Or narcissism. So there you have it. So not every single person with borderline personality disorder is going to have these same symptoms, or all the symptoms. Every single person is different. We all experience different things and we all have our own different stories. There could be a reason why someone is hostile towards someone. There could be a reason why someone feels guilty, because there could have been something in their past that they have gone through that kind of triggers it in their mind to think that they're the guilty people. Or maybe hostility is a defense mechanism. Alright, so in this website, it's talking about recognizing recognizing borderline personality disorder. Do you identify with the following statements? I often feel empty. Yes, I do. My emotions shift very quickly, and I often experience extreme sadness, anger, or anxiety. No, I wouldn't say I experience that. They're not very quick emotions. They're very just day by day, or depending on the situation I'm in. I would describe most of my romantic relationships as intense but unstable. I do not have romantic relationships. I am chronically single and lonely. I often do things that I know are dangerous or unhealthy, such as driving recklessly, having unsafe sex, binge drinking, using drugs, or going on spending sprees. I go on spending sprees. Oh, I go on spending sprees. My addiction is online shopping. I just love getting mail, okay? I love getting mail, and I love things. I mean, you can't see most of my room, but be thankful. It's insane. I have so much stuff. I've attempted to hurt myself, engaged in self-harm behaviors such as cutting or threatened suicide. Yes, I have cut myself. I have, you can't see that at all. Oh, there it is. It's right there. I have some scars. And then obviously I have attempted suicide. When I'm feeling insecure in a relationship, I tend to lash out or make impulsive gestures to keep the other person close. I do not. I have heard someone has commented and told me that this is a thing that people with borderline personality do, but I do not. I do not. What happens when I sense my favorite person withdrawing is I would get really, really anxious. I would have anxiety attacks all the time, and every day I would be really, really depressed, and I would be irritable, but it would be towards friends and family and a bunch of little things. But I would not lash out at anyone, especially my favorite person. What I actually did was I tried to sit down and talk to him about what was going on, because I wanted to fix this problem. Like, no problem is gonna go away if you are lashing out at someone. If you are arguing with someone all the time, like, that is a very unhealthy and abusive relationship, actually. It's a mentally abusive, and it could even turn into a physical abusive relationship. So never lash out at anyone. Never be hostile towards the person you love, because that's just going to make things a whole lot worse, and that's going to actually push them away rather than drawing them in. So that's what I do, is I try to draw my favorite person in by trying to listen to him, trying to get him to open up to me about what's going on in his life. Why is he acting this way? Why does he push me away? Now I know he was a pathological liar. And a whole lot of other shiz that I'm not even gonna talk about. I take the compassionate and gentle approach rather than the anger and hostility approach. So to be diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, there is a list of symptoms that you have to go through. You have to be assisted, and we'll go through this list of these symptoms, and if you relate to like more than 7 of them, I think, then you have borderline personality disorder. But of course, don't just self-diagnose yourself. Don't take my word for it. You have to be professionally diagnosed by a therapist, a psychiatrist, or commit suicide and go to a mental hospital, like I did. Alright, there are 9 symptoms. Number 1, fear of abandonment, which I have always had. I grew up having it, especially after a traumatizing relationship I had when I was 14. People with Bpd are often terrified of being abandoned or left alone. Even something as what kind of word is that? I'm sorry, guys. I am such a bad reader. I mean, I'm not a bad reader. There's just some words that I've never seen before and I don't know how to pronounce. Even something as innocuous as a loved one arriving home late from work or going away for the weekend may trigger intense fear. This can prompt frantic efforts to keep the other person close. You may beg, cling, start fights, track your loved one's movements, or even physically block the person from leaving. Unfortunately, this behavior tends to have the opposite effect, driving others away, just like I was just talking about. So one thing they did mention here is something that I do, and that is be clingy. I am very, very clingy because I'm just like, I need your affection. I need to be with you, especially after living 24 years of loneliness and singleness and depravity of affection and physical affection and intimacy. I just want to be with you, okay? Just take me with you. 2. Unstable relationships. People with PBD tend to have relationships that are intense and short-lived. You may fall in love quickly, believing that each new person is the one who will make you feel whole, only to be quickly disappointed. Your relationships either seem perfect or horrible, without any middle ground. Your lovers, friends, or family members may feel like they have emotional whiplash as a result of your rapid swings from idealization to devaluation, anger, and hate. Once again, I do not experience the mood swings or anything like that. Unclear shifting self-image. When you have BPD, your sense of self is typically unstable. Yeah. Sometimes you may feel good about yourself, but other times you hate yourself or even view yourself as evil. I don't view myself as evil, but I do view myself as nothing and worthless and not good enough and all the things depression tells you. You probably don't have a clear idea of who you are or what you want in life. Yes. As a result, you may frequently change jobs, friends, lovers, religion, values, goals, or even sexual identity. I do not. I do not change things like that. I change jobs because I actually need to, because I always end up having anxiety attacks whenever I have a job. And I also, whenever I have a job, my mental health goes downhill climatically. Impulsive self-destructive behaviors. If you have BPD, you may engage in harmful, sensation-seeking behaviors, especially when you're upset. You may impulsively spend money. You can't spend money you can't afford. Binge eat, drive recklessly, shoplift, engage in risky sex, or overdo it with drugs or alcohol. No. These risky behaviors may help you feel better in the moment, but they hurt you and those around you over the long term. I mean, I don't see how shopping and spending money until I broke hurts others. Except maybe my parents, because now I can't afford to do anything else. They pay for everything for me, and I hate that. I really do. I wish so badly that I was stable. I was financially stable enough to help my parents out. Self-harm. Suicidal behavior and deliberate self-harm is common in people with BPD. Suicidal behavior includes thinking about suicide, making suicidal gestures or threats, or actually carrying out a suicide attempt. Self-harm encompasses all other attempts to hurt yourself without suicidal intent. Common forms of self-harm include cutting and burning. Extreme emotional swings. No, I do not have this. Unstable emotions and moods are common with BPD. One moment you may feel happy and the next despondent. Little things that other people brush off can send you into an emotional tailspin. These mood swings are intense, but they tend to pass fairly quickly, unlike the emotional swings of depression or bipolar disorder, usually lasting just a few minutes or hours. Once again, I do not experience this. Chronic feelings of emptiness. Hello. People with BPD often talk about feeling empty, as if there's a hole or a void inside them. At the extreme, you may feel as if you're nothing or nobody. Yep. This feeling is uncomfortable, so you may try to fill the void with things like drugs, food, or sex. No. But nothing feels truly satisfying. I never do drugs. I have never sipped anything of alcohol in my life. And sex is a whole nother story. Explosive anger. Once again, I do not have. I did have a lot of anger when I was a child, but I've grown out of that. I try to avoid contentions, or I will try to, what's that word? Deflate, what's that word when you put out a fire? But I try to calm contention. I try to disoperate it. That's a Harry Potter thing. Bottom line is, I don't do contention. So whenever I get angry, what's that freaking word? Extinguish. I like to extinguish contention. And whenever I get angry, I try to extinguish it very quickly. And I normally only get angry at my brother, really. Yeah. Feeling suspicious or out of touch with family. Suspicious? I've never felt suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. People with BPD often struggle with paranoia or suspicious thoughts. What the heck does that mean? About others' motives. Okay, suspicious thoughts about others' motives. Okay, well, yes. I mean, after everything that I have experienced in my relationship with my favorite person, finding out that he is a pathological liar, among other things, then yeah, I'm gonna be very suspicious about other men's motives, especially while I'm just talking to them on dating apps. Like, to me, everyone is a pathological liar now. So I literally have no trust in anyone at all. When under stress, you may even lose touch with reality. Yeah, I do, because I also have maladaptive daydreaming disorder. So whenever I do get in a really bad place, my mind goes into a little mind palace, and I create my own alternate reality. An experience known as dissociation. I don't know if I would call it well, I don't know. Sometimes I do feel dissociated. I don't know. I'm not sure. You may feel foggy, spaced out, or as if you're outside your... Okay, no. I do not feel like I'm outside my own body or anything like that. Okay, so those are the 9 symptoms. If you relate to any one of those, then you might want to go get yourself diagnosed professionally. Don't be freaking out yet. Don't be overanalyzing it. Just go call up a counselor, call up a psychiatrist, make an appointment, and get yourself professionally diagnosed before you start worrying yourself, okay? And then, even if you do have borderline personality disorder, like, I know I struggled with the whole new concept myself, but, I mean, it doesn't change who you are. It's just something new that you learned about yourself. It may explain something to you, why you act this way, why you do this, that. So from there, you just have to take the steps to practice living with this knowledge and controlling symptoms, getting better, healing, whatever you have to do. Yeah, that's basically it. So I hope that this has helped some people, especially helped understand me a little bit better, because that's something I struggle with, is people don't understand me. And so maybe that's something that you can relate to too. So subscribe if you want to hear more about borderline personality disorder or any other form of mental illness. I also do other things now. If you have any suggestions for me to do on this channel, go ahead and leave them down below, because I'm gonna need some inspiration. Yeah, So stay real and have a super sparkly day. Bye!